Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in a state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent, it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits, only temporarily, those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders the nation's wealth. Corrupt people compromise on truth, equity, and fairness, choosing instead to feed off the short-term benefits of crookedness, exploitation, and financial perversion. Corruption is not just a personal matter, it's a culture. It's a way of life, not just for individual people, but for companies, communities, governments, and nations. Corrupt nations, hiding behind large companies, will seek to invest in other weak nations in order to take over the assets of the nation that they've invested into. They will provide financial loans to a nation for the much-needed infrastructure, and they will do it with assets that they provide. They will sign contracts by lining the pockets of rotten government officials who participate in this kind of corruption and are then held hostage by their own deceit and greed. Corruption is nothing less than a form of theft and national robbery. A corrupt person steals from everyone in society.
Ghetto, run, keep going on, let's process. For children of Israel who really love rights. So just as I as a watching man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Hey, oh, we gonna bust down Babylon walls. Prepare and read the way. Prepare and read the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down, war cry. Fight down. Me say Rastafari. War and cry. And do that righteousness. Hey, we love. I will love Jaja. I will love Jaja.
Rastafari, save all people.
Yeah, we love Jaja. We love Jaja. We love Jaja.
Rastafari, save all people.
Put time away again. Listen,
Yeah.
so just as I say, watch your man, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace, but we penalize. Hey, oh, night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare the way. Prepare the way for Rastafari. Fight down war and fight.
Fight down war and fight.
Rastafari, war and crime, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah. And we love Jah.
Rastafari, preserve all.
And we love Jah. Me love Jah. Me love Jah.
Rastafari, preserve all.
Me love Jah. Rastafari. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight. And then DJ Twink.
Good morning. It is Monday, the 9th of March. It is escalating. We are closer to the ticking of the doomsday clock. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. 1 second. Thank you all for joining us this morning. After our weekend break, observing the war, observing the politics at home and everything, we're going to look at the escalation of the war this morning, as well as we're going to assess the Cuban medical program. We're going to look if the two tales of the minister singing from different hymn sheets or they're singing different harmonies. And what are the consequences, one might ask, to healthcare in Jamaica, in particularly to your eyes? Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us this morning. To my community of parity and all my family members, platform moderators, I don't know why it went on pause. What we might all be getting burned soon, based on what Donald Trump is pushing and tinkering. We might all get burned very soon, because the threat of nuclear war, the escalation in the region, it's worrisome, very, very worrisome. And we're going to look at those dangerous escalation a bit later. But we also want to look at whether America can fight a two-front war at the same time, given they are outstretched. Given that they are outstretched in Iran, and Donald Trump is mustering up for Cuba after that, how long he will stay bogged down in Iran, how much the US military will lose in Iran, all of those have consequences when it comes to the Cuba war. As he said, after he finishes in the Middle East, it will be Cuba. And that, in turn, drawing the entire zone of peace. So we're going to look at the Cuban Jamaica issue, the Cuban American issue, as well as we're going to look at the Minister of Health and the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So we did two articles, one on Trump war on Cuba and one on the two ministers on the whole Cuban medical program issue. We're going to go to those because we have a lot to get through this morning. But we're going to go to those and then we'll question on the other side. Donna Scott Motley is saying things as well. But let us look at the Cuban medical program and the Jamaican ministers first, because when we look at Trump war and Cuba, then that will take us into the current Middle East debacle. Morning, everyone. How do you do? Moderators, viewers, silent watchers, and everybody, like and share the live for me, please. One big good morning to all of you. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. But for me, we have moved into a very worrisome week given the recent deployment in the US, constant illegal war and violation of international law, if something ever exists like that. So let's go to the article we did on the US fighting a two-front war. As we heard, Donald Trump last week threatened Cuba, and we've not seen the effects of that for us on our medical program of 50 years with the Cuban, now terminated, while Kamina Johnson Simmet is singing Sankey and Tuftan are sing Souls. So let's go to this article then. No, this is not the one. This is the two-front war. This will lead us into some other war. We're focusing now on Kamina Johnson Simmet and Christopher Tuftan. And in recent months, the Jamaican healthcare landscape has been... people have been left in healthcare-wise. And how Marco Rubio and Donald Trump is dictating the health of the Jamaican people, even when they are not providing alternative, because the alternative that they are providing is the America First Health Strategy, which is a racist, murderous program. So I'm telling you, Kenya just roll on for him, people, them panic, you know. Kenya, William the Corrupt Ruto, he has signed up to the America First Health Strategy. You all should familiarize yourself with the America First Health Strategy, because this is what Marco Rubio will be forcing your government to sign up to. Something that definitely won't benefit you. America First Health Strategy. America First Health Strategy won't benefit us. Let's listen to the two Fenke Bruners.
In recent months, the Jamaican healthcare landscape has been shaken by a crisis involving the long-standing Cuban Medical Cooperation Program. As the United States ramps up pressure regarding alleged forced labor in these missions, observers have pointed to the public rhetoric of Minister of Foreign Affairs Kamina Johnson-Smith and Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton, questioning whether the two are truly singing from the same hymn sheet. While both ministers ostensibly support the program, a critical look at their messaging reveals a nuanced and at times contradictory division of labor that reflects the tension between diplomatic survival and domestic necessity. The diplomatic shield versus the clinical reality. Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith's role has been primarily defensive and legalistic. In her recent statements, particularly following the conclusion of the bilateral agreement in early 2026, she has emphasized unresolved terms and alignment with local labor laws. Her rhetoric is carefully calibrated to appease Washington. She frames the end of the formal program not as a surrender to U.S. pressure, but as a principled stand for Jamaican legal standards. By highlighting issues like wage administration and travel document management, she is essentially signaling to the U.S. that Jamaica is addressing their human trafficking concerns without explicitly validating them. In contrast, Dr. Christopher Tufton's approach has been one of practical desperation. While Johnson-Smith speaks of concluding agreements, Tufton has been quick to reassure the public that nothing changes for the medics already on the ground. His rhetoric focuses on the vital pillar these workers represent. Even as the formal bilateral agreement collapsed, Tufton moved to pivot the strategy toward individual contracts, a move that preserves the labor force while technically bypassing the state-to-state framework that the U.S. finds objectionable. Different sheets or just different harmonies? The argument that they are singing from different hymn sheets gains traction when looking at the long-term vision for Jamaican healthcare. 1. On continuity. Johnson-Smith's announcements often carry a tone of finality regarding the old way of doing business. She focuses on the regrettable inability to reach an agreement. Tufton, meanwhile, remains the optimist-in-chief, frequently hailing the cherished relationship and downplaying the idea of a crisis by announcing new recruitment drives from the Philippines and India. 2. On U.S. pressure. Johnson-Smith has had to directly confront the threat of U.S. visa restrictions, often sounding more accommodating to the concerns expressed in the public domain. Tufton has been more defiant, at one point dismissing rumors of U.S. pressure as social media noise, even as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was actively seeking clarification from U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. 3. On labor rights. Johnson-Smith's recent admission that the program came into conflict with international labor best practices is a significant departure from Tufton's consistent defense that the medics are treated just like locals. A strategic duality. Critically, this perceived lack of harmony might actually be a calculated good cop, bad cop routine. By having the foreign minister acknowledge administrative challenges and legal conflicts, Jamaica avoids being blacklisted by its largest trading partner. Simultaneously, by having the health minister aggressively pursue individual contracts and alternative labor sources, the government ensures the public hospital system does not collapse. However, this duality creates a crisis of certainty for the Cuban professionals themselves. While Tufton promises them a future in Jamaica, Johnson-Smith's rhetoric about the end of the program creates a cloud of legal and personal instability. Conclusion. Are they singing from different hymn sheets? In a literal sense, yes. Johnson-Smith is singing a song of diplomatic compliance and legal reform, while Tufton is singing a song of systemic survival and human resource pragmatism. While their core objective, keeping the clinics open, remains the same, the friction between their narratives suggests a government struggling to balance the health of its citizens against the demands of its most powerful ally. Whether this split vocal strategy will successfully navigate the Cuban medical crisis or lead to a total breakdown in one of Jamaica's most important South-South partnerships remains to be seen.
So you are aware the decision is made in relation to Marco Rubio and Donald Trump feeling Jamaica politicians' visa, but not in the national interest or in the interests of the people of Jamaica health. Do you understand? So what we have voted for? Donna Scott Motley have this to say. We'll get to that shortly. Ask yourself the question, what are we voting for? Because if it's us that
opposition spokesperson on
the program, The decisions are being made in the interest of everybody else except for us, the people of Jamaica. Because we are the ones who will be on the receiving end, the backlash and everything. Lynette Jenkins, this is why I'm telling people you need to familiarize yourself with the America First health strategy. It's what your governments are being forced to sign up to. You must know where it is going. Kenya has already rolled their people up to the bullshit. It is what your government are going to force upon you. Have you asked your MP what is the alternative and how long we expect to fill these gaps? I make Andrew call Jamaican professionals to come back home, come suffer. Well, this is where we need to call for politicians to downgrade them 300% and we level out a 50% across the public sector for everybody, from politician to the road sweeper. And then it would make a little more sense. Let's listen to Donna Scott Mutley on the issue.
Opposition spokesperson on Foreign, Regional and Diaspora Affairs, Senator Donna Scott Motley, is calling for the government to provide a full explanation to the Jamaican people regarding its decision to terminate the long-standing medical cooperation agreement between Jamaica and Cuba. In a statement today, Senator Scott Motley said the sudden conclusion of a partnership that has endured for 50 years raises serious questions that the government must address.
Cuban doctors and medical professionals have served in hospitals and clinics across the island, helping to fill critical gaps in medical staffing. An arrangement that has supported Jamaica's healthcare for half a century cannot simply come to an abrupt end without the Jamaican people being given a clear and comprehensive account of what has led to that outcome.
She emphasized that the public must also be informed of the practical implications of the decision and the steps being taken to ensure that healthcare services remain adequately supported.
The public must also be informed of the practical implications of this decision. The country must be assured that there are clear and effective plans in place to maintain continuity of care, particularly in facilities.
Dana Motley, if we just struggle with the Cuban them, it just means that the implication is we're going to struggle more. More of us are going to die. More of us are going to go blind. The waiting time at the hospital will become much longer. Some needed speciality won't be there. Prepare yourself for martyrdom. The person who is driving this is a part of an organization who rapes children, who murders children, who eats children, who rapes women, who randomly grabbed women by their pussy, as he says. That's the person who is driving all of this. The person who killed 160 schoolgirls in his first strike in the Iran war. That is the person who is driving our health policy. That is who we elected. So why did we elect Andrew Holness when Donald Trump and Marco Rubio made the decision? Why did we elect Andrew Holness when Andrew Holness visa we should have voted for? Why should we elect our politicians when we should have elect with politician them visa? On a notice, say all of this is these decisions in relation to the Cuban health program, half a century, 50 years, 50 years. And at the state where we healthcare is at the state, where is it? America, Donald Trump, the pedophile, has just come along and pushed us into a worse situation where more of us is going to die. And the people of Jamaica are okay with it. I mean, nothing shifts or shakes us. Even when we are on the receiving end of it all, nothing shifts us or shake us. Jamaica, this is not about politics. And when I say this is not about politics, I mean it shouldn't be a labor right versus PNP on this issue. This is a national crisis. This is a national crisis. Our healthcare is already in a national crisis. This is going to make it even worse. This is going to even make it worse. So what if Donald Trump come along and tell Andrew Holness him want the Southwest St. Elizabeth coastline? Them a go bam way off of it. Because we see them try bam way off of it with water and wind and earthquake the other day. Jamaica people, we cannot see the world is changing and we just sit down and expect something to happen good for we and we not get involved in the process. After this war is over, however long it goes on for, the world will be a different place. It will not be what we used to anymore. Systems are going to change. The global order is going to change. The power structure is going to change. Who is your ally will be important. Are we going to go over the cliff with America? America, who is going around the world killing children. America, which is now flying its nuclear warplane in the region, threatening a nuclear catastrophe. And the people of Jamaica just get willingly dragged. The most I can say to us as a country, we must be prepared for a horrible death. Because that is all that is going to come. Because we, the people of Jamaica, we are so knowledgeless and out of touch of what is happening in this world. We think to say the little pian idiot politics in a Jamaica is any effect on the world. Jamaica pian politics is just Jamaica pian politics. The world is bigger than Jamaica. And if we continue to zoom into Jamaica, where Jamaica is not zooming to we, the people of Jamaica, it's all about foreigners. Foreigners get all the choices made in their favor, whether they be Chinese, Indian, or white. Anytime decision I make in a Jamaica, it don't benefit we, the people of Jamaica. No. That health program debate caused a rattle in Parliament. You know, say Dr. Das contentious. Who knows, say? Dr. Das contentious. Did you all hear Dr. Das and Auntie Angela? Dr. Das, you're very feisty and you're very contentious. You see, Dr. Das, you see, if this was in England, the media would have torn you down for ageism. But in Jamaica, we don't get into those fuckeries. But if you, Dr. Das, was in the UK or in what's left of America. The media would have taken you apart for ageism. But because in Jamaica, nothing matters and we don't have no principle about anything, everything just blow and fly. But watch Dr. Dawes and Auntie Angela in the questioning of Tufton by Dr. Dawes.
Till further notice based on all else that is happening.
So it's safe to say that there is no new CEO. There's no newly appointed CEO.
Can you move on to the next question? Because obviously
we have a CEO in place for 4 weeks while somebody's on vacation. Why are you still here at your age? You go home and play with your grandparents, man. Remember. Go play with your grandchildren and your
Next question. Next question. May I remind you, member, that you're not the chair here? And two, when...
It Bonanti Angela, you know. Me say, it Bonanti Angela because one thing old woman don't like to do is get called old. Murder! No, sir. This Bonanti Angela bad.
When the member who is given the floor diverted into having, you are not the chair.
Let me say, because I know we have a fair and square. Dr. Dawes was wrong to attack his age. What Dr. Dawes ought to attack is his competency. So Alfred Dawes, even though you know send me in your corner, you was wrong to attack Auntie Angela's age. What you ought to have attacked, Dr. Dawes, it's Auntie Angela's competency. Because we know she's got none of that. But it really born Auntie Angela. No.
Members.
When the cat look on Sheeda, them two Sheeda. When the cat is away, the mice will play. When you notice that when Eli, whether be as a chair, as a speaker, he can't control the house. But when Mademoiselle did it, Mademoiselle muzzle everybody. But Eli is been more fairer than Mademoiselle to allow certain things to go on, whereas Mademoiselle would have probably shot them same place there. Me the wrong do it fast, you know. All the way I go on in there, do it, no concern, do it fast. Do it fast just the on phone. But the mice them really play with E-right today. Because Juliet never I go condone this year for too long. Yeah. Dr. Daz was wrong to attack Auntie Angela's age. Attack Auntie Angela's competence. Because we know Auntie Angela not equipped for nothing barring for hug up young boy. That's all we know Auntie Angela good for. And for thief. Auntie Angela good pan the thiefing and the gun storage. And then so how all them people, how all Desmond Mackenzie and Darrell Vaz get in a cabinet, you know, God Almighty help Jamaica, you know. God Almighty help Jamaica for me. Because oh Desmond Mackenzie. But Desmond Mackenzie, what Dr. Daz should have said to you yesterday, this is what me would have support. Mind how you run up your mouth. Come we beat you just like how Siaga used to hold you and beat you. And you have to turn up and take the lick them. Desmond Mackenzie couldn't run for Siaga lick them, you know? No. Couldn't run. You have to turn up and take the lick them. So that Dr. Daz should have tell me yesterday, say, all of you were chatting a go on there. If I was Siaga, I would have come over there and give you a good old slapping. I would have supported that. But Auntie Angela was really, really worked up. Really worked up by what Dr. Daz said. But Jamaica in a crisis because Desmond Mackenzie is a cabinet minister. Darrell Vaz is a cabinet minister. Bobby Montague is a cabinet minister. Jesus Christ. You don't want to get worse? No, talk truth. You don't want to get worse? I mean, them three there. Them have a, especially Darrell and Desmond Mackenzie. Remember the big old punchy role where them play in the Melissa aftermath. We know so them thief a lot to do. Andrew plays people strategically. Andrew plays people strategically. When no say they can steal hard and get away with it. But this Cuban health program, Jamaica, which them collapse, and we are going to bear the brunt of it. We're going to feel the pain of it. All of the negative effects are we, the people,
between two
are
fronts,
going to pick it
Trump's
up.
Caribbean ambitions and
Are we, the people, are going to pick it up? America people are much more better than we when it comes to health, because if they don't have money at work, them are go there just like we as well. Because me know Trump are go pop off the rest of Obamacare and all of that, what's left of it. But look how we are struggle. Look how America has steal out for we doctor them. Why America don't talk about the educational apartheid? Why America don't talk about the skilled workers apartheid? Well, we are just a training camp for health professional for America, which was not able in its first world economy to train enough of its people to do its work. Choose Jamaica, choose JLP. You realize that's how the song is? Choose Jamaica, choose JLP. The decisions that are being made in relation to the Cuban health program is about JLP's visas and their access to foreign, and they're going to foreign for their medical checkup and dental checkup and all of that. Because that does not affect them. 50 years a program that they've collapsed because a pedophile says so. It won't affect them because that decision was made in their visa's interest, so they can still access from your taxpayers' dollar expensive health care in America. You noticed the other day when Anvar's daughter-in-law was giving birth. She didn't in Jamaica. Why would she? No. That's for us, the peasants, the proletariats. Yes. These people don't need help. I mean, if they die, or friends who have supermarkets and funeral parlors and all of this benefits. What are you talking about? There's chicken and goat and rice and rum to sell. Kill the program and let them die because they cannot provide us an alternative. Because we saw the joyride. We see the joyride where Christopher Tufton take across the hemisphere. Those joyride will not produce no fruit. We him a tell with this, that, and the other all at the moment. Are we a go blind? Are we the people of Jamaica? We can't access private health care or foreign health care. I go blind. Are you going to have to sit down in a hospital longer? Yeah? They can just get on a plane and within 45 minutes they're in Florida getting foreign health care. You, on the other hand, will die sitting on that chair waiting for a bed. And you know what? Your family won't even be contacted. You'll be shuffled off in a body bag to the nearest funeral parlor who has the contract with your local hospital. And just sit down, so. Just so. Not a blood demonstration. Not a blood. Oh, no love dead, so Jamaica people. No wonder why you don't love meat, so, because you love them dead things. No wonder why you don't love meat, so, because you love them dead things. Sooner or very late, we have to talk to one another because we don't have money for do the big expensive funeral them. And that don't if you notice. You notice when there's a funeral, how it benefits the Jamaica economy. Now, you have the man who sells rice, the man who sells chicken, the man who sells rammy, the man who sells pig. Depends on how you want big you want your funeral. You may also kill a cow. You have the man who sells alcohol, disposable plates and utensils. You have the funeral parlor man. You have the floral man. You have the man with the tent. Do you understand the economy of death? Do you understand the economy of death? And then you have a whole plethora of vendors that will turn up for grave digging, that will turn up for night, and that will turn up for funeral. Do you understand the economy of death? I guess not. I guess not. Because if we understand the economy of death, we wouldn't have died so fast to please them. Look at the wave of young people we're burying. Lord Jesus. Yesterday was a depressing evening in my family because we put to rest one of our very young, upstanding family member yesterday. Hmm? Just 48-year-old. Both of us share the same birthday, December 29. Just both so. Do you understand the economy of death? Do you understand even the man will sell balloon, the man will sell the decorative ribbons and flowers? Do you understand the economy of death? Because if we understand the economy of death, we would not feed the death economy. So we wouldn't try. Hey, money make off dead, you know. I know when people do dead, you know when your granny or your grandaunt or your granduncle lay down pan bed a pant and family over him a wipe him pant and he foam them while the cat enter around a back door and knock up the box and the community round a back and dig the grave. You know remember how funeral do cheap? Eh? You know remember how funeral do cheap? We do all cut out the parliament and him fridge. We cut out the hearse, man. We cut out the flowers, man. We've become so upper class in death. Hmm? We become so upper class in death. Huh? When are dead, we roll out. You know how much a clothes store them make? Do you know? Hey, Jesus Christ. Do we understand the economy of death? Hmm? If I write an article on that later. I mean, I talk about DEBT. May I talk about DEATH? You understand? But sit down and assess the economy of DEATH and see if you don't want stifle them pocket. Without do anything for them dead, just for them people there. Though all the people benefit when one somebody dead, you know. Now can you understand why police are walk and shoot without so? I wonder if politicians or Parliament is giving a commission to police officers for this slaughter, this extrajudicial summary slaughters. Anyway, Jamaica people don't really care. We voted for criminals. We voted for criminals on the 3rd of September 2025. Look where we get now. Them left we back out a door. Them left we back out a door. Them left we back out a door right now. We are going to die faster for lack of we're going to wait in emergency room longer. We're going to go blind because they are the eye specialists that help poor people who cannot afford private or foreign health care. But Jamaica people not too concerned. Them just low it up so. Now, let's look at the article we did on Trump fighting a two-front war in the Middle East and in the zone of peace.
Between two fronts, Trump's Caribbean ambitions and the Middle East quagmire. As 2026 unfolds, the world finds itself in a state of high-octane geopolitical tension. President Donald Trump has recently intensified his Maximum Pressure 2.0 campaign, signaling that after the current blockade and operations against Venezuela, Cuba is next. This bold declaration comes at a time when the United States is already deeply entangled in a direct and escalating conflict in the Middle East, alongside Israel against Iran. The convergence of these two fronts raises a critical question. can the United States realistically project power into the Caribbean, a self-declared zone of peace, while its resources and focus are being drained by a failing campaign in the Middle East? The Caribbean Next List, from Caracas to Havana. President Trump's recent rhetoric regarding Venezuela has been nothing short of historic. Citing the recovery of stolen assets and oil rights, the administration has authorized a massive naval blockade and hinted at ground operations to dismantle what it labels a foreign terrorist organization. However, the declaration that Cuba will be next shifts the stakes from a resource-driven conflict to an ideological crusade. By targeting Cuba, the Trump administration seeks to dismantle the last vestiges of the troika of tyranny. Yet, this move directly challenges the community of Latin American and Caribbean states and its 2014 proclamation of the region as a zone of peace. For Caribbean nations, the prospect of U.S. kinetic action off their shores is not seen as liberation, but as a violation of regional sovereignty that threatens to turn the Caribbean into a theater of war for the first time in decades. The Middle East quagmire, a failing front. While the White House looks south, its eyes are bloodshot from the ongoing war in the Middle East. The current conflict between the US-Israel alliance and Iran has moved beyond proxy battles into direct exchanges. Despite the Operation Epic Fury and the dropping of thousands of munitions on Iranian nuclear and military sites, the campaign is widely viewed as stalling. 1. Resilience of the axis of resistance. Iran has shown a surprising ability to absorb strikes and retaliate through asymmetric drone warfare and ballistic missile volleys that challenge even the most advanced air defense systems. 2. The high cost of war. The 12-day war and subsequent 2026 escalations have strained U.S. carrier groups and ammunition stockpiles. 3. Diplomatic isolation. While some regional partners remain in the U.S. orbit, others are growing wary of a total regional collapse, making the regime change goal look increasingly unattainable. Can America fight a two-front war? The critical discussion now centers on strategic overreach. Can the U.S. military, already struggling to secure a decisive victory in the Middle East, sustain a new intervention in the Caribbean? Logistical strain. Modern warfare is a game of precision munitions and high-tech readiness. Fighting a sophisticated adversary like Iran requires a concentration of naval and air assets that leaves other regions vulnerable. Attempting to blockade Venezuela and threaten Cuba simultaneously would require a dual theater capability that many analysts argue the U.S. has not maintained since the end of the Cold War. The zone of peace resistance. Unlike the Middle East, where conflict is sadly endemic, the Caribbean and Latin America have a unified diplomatic front against military intervention. A strike on Cuba or Venezuela would likely trigger a massive diplomatic backlash from the ALBA TCP and CELAC blocs, potentially leading to the closure of ports or even the welcoming of rival powers into the hemisphere to balance U.S. aggression. Economic blowback. A war in the Middle East already threatens global oil prices. Adding a conflict in the Caribbean, home to critical shipping lanes and Venezuelan oil reserves, could create a global energy shock that would undermine the very domestic economic stability Trump seeks to protect. Conclusion. President Trump's declaration that Cuba is next may serve as a powerful rallying cry for his base, but the clinical reality of the 2026 global landscape tells a different story. As the war with Iran proves to be a grinding, costly endeavor with no clear exit strategy, the prospect of opening a new front in the Caribbean seems less like a strategic masterstroke and more like a recipe for overextension. In trying to enforce peace through strength in the Middle East while simultaneously ignoring the zone of peace in the Caribbean, the United States risks finding itself in a position where it is singing two different songs, one of global hegemony and another of a superpower spread dangerously thin.
Now, this leads us into the development of the war this weekend that we want to keep you up to date on, because we don't believe the war should catch us off guard. Now, let's go to what's left of Tony Blair, the murderer, the killings of Tony Blair. in the millions, one would count. What's left of Anthony Blair came out over the weekend attacking Keir Starmer. Sausage, though the Starmer is. Now, this is a war criminal. A man who murdered babies in Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya, and you could go on and on about Tony Blair's crime. And Tony Blair, as an attorney, former prime minister, criminal though he is, and the wife of a judge, is encouraging Keir Starmer to join an illegal war. But then that would suit the pocket of Tony Blair because he's the Middle East envoy. He has a seat on Donald Trump board of peace. But can you imagine a board of peace have been formed and the same chairman of the board of peace created World War III? So this is what I'm telling you all the while about these white murderers. When it comes to stealing people land and oil, there's no rule or no law for these people. That's why I wonder all the while why the world tell us about law and order, rules and regulation all the time when we see the people them who push it power in a public violate it. Now, this is not frightening from Tony Blair, given that Tony Blair is a war criminal. Given that Tony Blair is a war criminal, we expect those type of behavior from him. But if you are following what's going on in the Middle East, there has been a dangerous escalation over the weekend. The Iranians have come out and announced that they have captured over 170 odd Delta Force and Special Forces from the United States that did a landing in their country. The Americans are denying it. That's how the propaganda is flying fast on both sides. So the Iranians are saying we have over 170 odd American prisoners of war. The Americans are saying no go so. Both sides are telling us a lot of lies since this war, but America needs to start giving the world figures of death and capture and injure. Because what the world know America, the tirade of slapping you took across the Middle East, it cannot be 6 or 4 people dead out of so much military base mash up, so much hotel where housing your soldier them mash up. It cannot be. And while they're pulling a wool over the public's eye, they're escalating the tension. Because over the weekend, Donald Trump has sent nuclear capability to the region. So we are expecting this weekend for Donald Trump to fire a nuclear weapon at Iran. This is dangerous escalation. Because if America does fires one before Russia intervenes, Russia is going to intervene because of that level of ally between them. Russia will know, or as
I'm not making this video to scare you. I'm making this video because you have a right to know. The U.S. military.
Russia will take Iran under its nuclear umbrella. Now, if that is done, it's the doomsday's clock hitting midnight. It is the doomsday clock. Didn't hear from my family member in Kuwait over the weekend. What the Iranian President Pezeshkian, he came out on Friday, I think, and he said they're going to stop attacking the Middle Eastern countries, but that comes with an ultimatum. If they allow the US to stage any further attack from their soil, Iran is going to continue the attack. Now, Bahrain, America, this ya one, you're more than you. America, you bite off one way you can chew this time, you know. Sintington cross, America truth. And this is the reason why Donald Trump and Netanyahu is now threatening nuclear. Benjamin Netanyahu says he got a big surprise for Iran this week. And we see the US nuclear bomber fly from Britain over the weekend to the region. This is dangerous. The world is about to go down in a heap of smokes. Now, why the Iranians put so much time in making sure they disabled Bahrain? Bahrain, as it said, got one America more sophisticated base and intelligence gathering. It was from Bahrain, it is said, that the missile that killed the 160 schoolgirls, that missile was fired from Bahrain by the Americans. And boy, I tell you, Bahrain has collapsed as a state. It is said the Bahrainian king, the royal family, flee. There's not much confirmation about that yet, but Bahrain basically, they beat American military assets right to the ground in Bahrain, because that was where the killing of the 100 and odd school children were staged from. Now, let's play this video clip and then we'll come back on the other side. But this is a dangerous escalation, my peeps, where this week we could be in a nuclear war. Because why you can't take nothing off of the table and take nothing lightly, we don't only have idiots like Donald Trump and Netanyahu conducting this, what they did not bargain for. What is more important here is the desperation of America and Pixrel. Pixrel is being decimated. Tel Aviv is being licked left, right, and center. They cannot call an end to the war because Donald Trump was saying over the weekend he's going to declare victory and pull out. Declare victory and pull out our Jankro. You start it, you can't finish it. You can't finish where you start. The finishing line is not for America and Israel in this. So Uno Sisse, Iran not take, not talk, when you not coming back to the negotiation table, and them not take, not talk from Uno, and them mash up America's strength. America is disabled in the Middle East, you know. The little what's left of America is in Pixrel. And Pigsrail is being pounded left, right, and center. It probably won't be long before Lebanon and Palestine push down that wall and walk over it. And this is the reason for the escalation, because the Americans cannot manage what Iran and meet out to them. And because of that, America is turning to nuclear war. This is dangerous. If we don't get scorching at the fire, we're going to end up with cancer, all sort of respiratory disease and all sort. A nuclear bomb go off in the Middle East. It's not limited to the Middle East only. What about if this nuclear war escalates and nuclear bombs start fire in Europe and America? You understand where the world is going? You understand, so we can wake up in a Revelation 13 tomorrow morning? I guess not.
I'm not making this video to scare you. I'm making this video because you have a right to know. The U.S. military has just moved an E-6B Mercury plane over to the Middle East. What is an E-6B Mercury plane? It is the actual plane that is to send the signal to nuclear submarines whether or not to launch a nuke. I have goosebumps making this video, and this is not to fearmonger. You should be scared. I'm not fearmongering. We just sent our nuclear command and control over to the Middle East to make sure we have the ability to launch a nuke within a couple of minutes. Now, I want you to pause the video here, swipe up on your phone, go to your Safari, your Chrome, whatever I want you to Google this. I don't want you to just take my word for it. I want you to Google it. E6B Mercury movement. Guys, this is a
and you can check that out in all in a lot of news sources, my peeps.
Defining point, and I don't care what you have to say. If it's a tactical threat, it's fucking terrifying. This is not the world I want my kids growing up in. It's not. It's not. Because we have a narcissist in the White House who wants to play with all the buttons and move chess pieces around on a war board as if it's a game of chess. Wants to downplay the fact that he's done things that have signaled to the Republican administration that he is on board, right? Or that he won't push back. That is the problem. You can't just downplay. You did capitulate. You did things that allowed them to think they could get away with stuff. And now they're doing things that are putting a lot of people's lives at risk. You might have legislative experience, but let me tell you, don't have tactical experience. So you can tell people all you want that I'm not qualified because I don't have legislative experience, but let me tell you that you don't have any tactical experience. And it seems like you don't have any psychology experience, because you're doing things that are actively signaling to the other side that it's okay to do what they're doing. This is not a legislative game anymore. It's not which policy is going to financially benefit us more, this one or that one. No, you're playing with people's lives. Anyway.
It is that serious. It is that serious. We can wake up in Revelation 13 the next day. It is that serious. So we don't feel go on like say, we live in a fine and dandy world, and we ought not to be concerned about the control where Israel have world leaders. Let's go to Max Blumenthal. Max Blumenthal is a well-respected journalist. We used to in this system, but you know, good people are
afraid of assassination because of all the attacks that he was.
Good people are removing themselves from the censored bullshit of what is mainstream media and do their own thing out there. But Israel control everybody. Me live, me will call you back when me done. You hear me, sir? So Israel control all of these leaders. And these leaders, as we see Donald Trump is doing, rather than Donald Trump face the rhythm for the children them were in rape, for the dirty deeds of Donald Trump in the Epstein file, Donald Trump rather go off and kill to cover up that, to kill, to distract us from the crimes of the US president raping and eating and murdering children alongside Jeffrey Epstein. And rather than face judgment for that, Donald Trump started killing that could turn into a global catastrophe. America and Jamaica only get for them bargain for. You all knowingly voted for criminals. You all knowingly voted for criminals. Don't expect them to get to power and become Mother Teresa and Uncle St. Paul's overnight. Those are wishful thinking. And a wishful thinking. A wishful thinking make Donald Trump, Andrew Holness, and all of them end up in a situation where them end up in. Let's listen to Max Blumenthal of how Israel control all of these people.
Afraid of assassination because of all the attacks that he was under, because he was always compared to Hitler and so on. Then he faces a real assassination attempt. So of course he's afraid of that. He's very afraid of Netanyahu and his capabilities. And during one of Netanyahu's many trips to Washington this year, Israeli agents placed electronic devices on Secret Service emergency response vehicles on 2 separate occasions. This is what source told me with very
and did the Secret Service arrest these Israeli agents?
They found the devices. And this is what I was told by a Trump insider. So I can't call up, if I called up the Secret Service and asked them to confirm this, they just wouldn't even acknowledge it. It's not something that's going to happen. But there's a precedent there. The precedent is in 2019, 3 high-ranking former U.S. officials told Politico that Israel had done the exact same thing, placing Stingray cell phone surveillance devices around the White House and in sensitive locations throughout Washington to surveil Donald Trump's phone communications. Now, who would get access to those locations, first of all? You can't just send, Shlomo Mossad up in there. He's not going to get access. But Benjamin Netanyahu has access, and his own security team. And actually, in 2017, Boris Johnson, the former Israeli prime minister, wrote in his memoir that Netanyahu went into his personal toilet and left a surveillance device, a listening device, that British security, his personal security, found a listening device after Netanyahu used his personal toilet. This was reported in the Telegraph, the British Telegraph, which is a pro-Israel publication. So I would have just dismissed this, but there's just such a strong precedent there. And it frightens people inside the White House when you have this foreign intelligence agency, which is carrying out a genocide, which could basically funds your campaigns through cutouts like Miriam Adelson. Netanyahu is calling it into the White House, demanding personnel changes all the time. That's what I've heard. It stands to reason that Trump is afraid.
No. These are the same Israelis, pigs really, as I call them, that provides the Pegasus system to our country. Ask your prime minister this question. Has the Pigsraeli and Mossad agents hand over anything on Andrew Holness to the Americans that the Americans used to get Andrew Holness to capitulate on the Cuban medical program? Don't you think it's a question that we ought to ask? Maybe I'm just overly stupid.
And that's what I was told by an insider with access to Trump. This U.S.-Israel special relationship that's being uncovered right now that shows just how it's collapsed, is completely collapsed. Because I think when you lose Charlie Kirk, I don't mean physically, but when they lost him politically, or if they lost him politically and he starts refusing your funding, refusing Netanyahu's offer to fund his organization to the hilt, which was what I told he did, then you've lost the game.
The Israeli will do anything for the narrative to be on their side. They will do anything to have control of world leaders and decision makers. That's why the more can get a secret by everybody in all of the big fraternity, the scientists, the entertainers, the multi-billionaire, the company directors, the bank executive, world leaders. And then one rogue country can sit down and demand every other country to kill children on its behalf. Do you know that Israel is a legal pedophile state? Do you know that Israel is a legal pedophile state where most of these British and American pedophiles evading justice, they go away to Israel because they're protected there? That's a level of moronism, animalism, barbarism of these pigs, these same very pigs that are ushering a nuclear war. Because why we can't take any chance anymore? Them people are on a principle. Them people are on a rules. As Donald Trump tells us, is how I feels. Mean if he feels to rape us, he will just bloody do it. Isn't it? Anyway, come go on about your business. Because YouTube, I sent some YouTube and Facebook. Let me tell you something this morning. I will not back down and I will not comply. I'm not mainstream media. Mainstream media talk fuckery. Mainstream media mislead people. Mainstream media lie to people. I'm not that. So no matter how una censor my program, how una algorithmically hampered my program, it doesn't prevent me from still shouting. But tell you, say, me were willing to write it up on cartridge paper and go paste it up on light post, as so we used to reach the community. Me will put a speaker in my rucksack and walk up and down and make the noise. We're going in this world here. We can't stay silent. It's not right to stay silent, because at the end of the day, we and our loved ones' life are at risk. The world and the environment is at risk. Because let me tell America something. If you start a nuclear war, it now go done with America intact. It just now go so. America. This time, America will walk and harangue everybody else about nuclear weapon. America is the only state in this world that carried out a nuclear weapon in another country. And here comes America again, flying its nuclear bomb in a zone where America, its nuclear bomber, in a zone where America is fighting an illegal war. Is God really real? Because if God is real, or they said God gave us choice, but white people just choose to be animals. Anyway, go on, about your business. Chat too much. Thank you all for being here this morning. Lovely to have your support as always. Join us back this evening when we look at whether we are in nuclear war, Revelation 13, or wherever we might end up this evening. But where the world is going, you just cannot plan for the future at the moment without penciling imminent death and danger in the middle of it. Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV.
Too long in our little ghetto, run keep going on, less process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just a tie and I as a watching man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Hey, oh, night. We gonna bust down Babylon walls. Prepare and read the way. Prepare and read the way for jumping. Let's go. Fight down, war and crime. Fight down, me say Rastafari. War and crime and do that righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. And we love Jah.
Jah Rastafari, save all people.
And we love Jah. We love Jah.
Jah Rastafari,
we love Jah.
Jah Rastafari, preserve all people.
Put time away again. Listen, yeah. So just as I and I as a watching man, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace, but we are penalized. Hey, oh, night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare and read the way. Prepare and read the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down, war and crime.
Fight down, war and crime.
Rastafari, war and crime, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. And we love Jah.
Jah Rastafari, preserve all.
And we love Jah. Me love Jah.
Jah Rastafari,
Me love Jah.
Jah Rastafari, preserve all.
Me love Jah.
Jah Rastafari,
Jah Rastafari.
Jah Rastafari.
Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight. And then DJ Twink.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.